Hi there, Stern students and families. This is Miss McLaughlin. I'm here again today to read you another story. I hope you're all staying safe and healthy, and I'm sending love and warm wishes to my fourth grade friends. Our book today is called The Tapestry Cats. It is written by Anne Turnbull and illustrated by Carol Morley. A friend of mine gave me this book in college, and I'm really excited to read it to you all today, so I hope you like it. Once upon a time, there was a princess. She was 6 years old, and she lived in a castle with her mother, the queen, who always knew what was best for her. The queen knew it was best for her daughter to look and behave like a princess at all times. So the princess wore stiff brocade dresses and scratchy tiaras, and she was not allowed to jump in puddles or keep pets. The princess didn't talk much because the queen always answered for her. Once a duchess asked her what she liked doing best. The queen replied, she likes having dancing lessons. So the duchess never knew that the princess preferred reading. Once an uncle asked her what she wanted for Christmas. The queen replied, she wants embroidered socks and a yellow petticoat. So the uncle never knew that the princess really wanted a cat. The princess had no one to play with, so she often wandered alone around the castle, looking at the tapestries that hung on the walls. Tapestries are like large decorative blankets that hang on the walls instead of on a bed or a couch. These tapestries were old and dusty, and the colors were faded. But the princess liked them because they were full of people and animals. There were knights in armor riding on horses, princesses who fed unicorns or played harps, ships sailing on choppy seas, dolphins, and mermaids. And there were cats. The cats were in an upstairs room called the Tower Room. Tapestries hung on 2 of the walls. One showed a sunny garden with stiff hedges and a lawn scattered with buttercups. A lady sat under a trellis of roses, reading a book, and on her lap was a cat, a big golden tabby cat, embroidered in yellow and cream and glinting gold thread. The princess knew that he was a lazy, friendly cat, as warm as honey and as heavy as sleep. She pretended he was her cat, and she called him Gold. Now he's hard to see because he's right in between the pages, but that's him right there, the gold kitty. On the opposite wall was the same garden at night. A full moon shone, silvering the arbor, which seemed empty. But when the princess looked closely, down low, by the feet of the lady's chair, she could see a pair of eyes catching the moonlight. A little cat was there, a silver-gray tabby cat, embroidered in black and gray and glinting silver thread. And the princess knew that this was a hunting cat, as secret as moonlight and as quick as thought. She pretended she was her cat, and she called her Silver. That's her right there. When the princess was quiet and dreamy or reading a book, she would imagine she had Gold on her lap. She would stroke his fur, and he was as warm as honey and as heavy as sleep, and his purr filled the room. That's him right there and right there. When the princess was playful, running and hiding, she would imagine she had Silver with her. They would play hide and seek together all over the castle. But Silver was as secret as moonlight and as quick as thought, and she never let the princess catch her. That's her right there, and right there, and even right there. On the princess's 7th birthday, her mother organized a party and invited her fairy godmother. The princess was given a new tiara, a necklace of rubies, a clockwork bird, and a casket full of pearls. "And what would you like from me?" asked the fairy godmother. She smiled at the princess as if she guessed all her thoughts. The princess knew what she wanted. She opened her mouth, but before she could speak, the queen replied, "Gold and silver. That's what she wants, gold and silver." The princess's heart leapt. Her eyes opened wide. "Yes," she said, "that is what I want." The queen smiled at her sensible daughter. The fairy godmother waved her wand and said, "Your wish is granted. Run upstairs and find it." And she winked. I wonder why she winked. The princess ran straight to the tower room. There they were, gold and silver, real cats. Gold was basking in a pool of sunlight. Silver ran and twined around the princess's ankles. The princess knelt to stroke them, and Silver sprang up, quick as thought, onto her lap, while Gold pressed his head against her hand. Their purring filled the room. Wow. Of course, the queen was not pleased. She said, "What your fairy godmother needs is a new wand." But the princess knew there was nothing wrong with the old one. And in time, the queen came to like gold and silver, and she always knew what was best for them. "What those cats want," she would say, "is salmon flavored with fennel." And she was right. She was still often wrong about what the princess wanted, though. But the princess learned to speak up for herself, and the queen learned to say, "Well, dear child, if you insist." Only the chambermaid complained. She said, "What those tapestries need is moth-proofing. There are holes in 2 of them, as big as cats." And that's the end. I hope you enjoyed our story, and I hope to see you all soon. Bye-bye.